The secret to becoming happy and wealthy in life. Many people live lives that are just unfulfilling, and maybe you're in a position right now where you're struggling with something and you just can't seem to get that balance. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down for you some of the greatest insights I've had that now enable me to live the lifestyle that I live now. I now get to travel the world, speak on stages, and I really am very, very free, and financially, I'm doing okay. So, if you'd love to know this secret, then stick around and watch this video. I am Dan Warburton, a transformational coach who's known for having enabled thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners to succeed in extraordinary ways. I've also got web spaces full of testimonials backing this up, and I'm often invited to speak to audiences of thousands around the world about what transformation makes possible. I now get to live an extraordinary lifestyle, and I want you to be able to experience the same. The secret to being both happy and wealthy. So for me, I've certainly not had an easy ride. Let's just say I made my life so much more complicated than it actually needed to be. But when I was in my teenage years, I was bullied badly at school. And I was actually short. I was very short. In fact, when I was in the second year at secondary school, the shortest girl in my year was actually taller than me. That's how short I was. And I just got bullied so badly. And I never felt like I fitted in. And then after that, I got into skateboarding because that got me a way of getting people's attention. And then from there, I just went off the rails. I started taking drugs. And in the end, I just struggled so much. I then failed most of my education. I just really messed up everywhere. And then as I started to be old enough to sort of set up businesses and think about making my own money, by the time I'd got to even setting up my first business, I'd already tried so many different employment positions, from flipping buns at McDonald's to digging trenches in the pouring rain on building sites, cutting grass for the council, you name it, and I tried it. And I just could never get to a fulfilling place in my life. And then my businesses failed and they didn't work out. And then it was only through doing sort of transformational based work, working with a coach, that I was guided through powerful coaching interactions to really find out why I was so unhappy. At that time in my life, that would be about 7 years ago, I had neither wealth or happiness. And I remember this one point, I was sat on the edge of my tiny little bed, and I'd just come out of a relationship where I was engaged to marry her, and I'd been in that relationship for 8 years. She just didn't feel it anymore. So I moved out, and for the first time I was living on my own tiny little flat. I didn't want to ask my dad for any more money. I just felt like I couldn't earn my own money. I didn't feel like I was loved by anyone. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? And then the day after, I went up to London for one of my coaching sessions. And during this coaching session, I was brought back to an event that happened to me when I was 3 years old. And I was sat in this double push pram with my brother next to me, and it was a beautiful sunny day. If you've watched my previous videos, you may know of this event because I've told you guys about it before. And I was sat in this double push pram, and my mum came out of the shop, so I put my hands up so she could give me what she bought. She ignored me, she gave it to my brother. This thing, my brother, took all the love and attention away from me. I couldn't believe it. I was so angry. So to get my revenge, I leant over and I bit his ear to, just out of anger, just because he just took all the love and attention away from me, and I wanted to punish him for that. So he screamed out, crying and crying and crying. And my dad saw this, so he runs over and he says, "No, you mustn't do that. He's your brother. You must love your brother." And I got really shocked, because as my dad was saying that to me in a stern voice, people were staring at me, they were kind of giggling and pointing their fingers at me. And my brother was then getting even more love and attention from my mum, because she was saying, they're there now. And in that moment, I got that I was thinking, I'm just not good enough. Nobody wants me. And that was a huge breakthrough for me, because I'd realized that that was the view, or that was the interpretation I had of myself in the world. And so what happened was, up until then, I was constantly chasing wealth. I was chasing money as a way to prove to the world that I am good enough and that I am wanted. And even as I began to get little successes and a little bit of money coming in, I never really felt like I was somebody that anybody should feel proud of. I never felt like whatever results I got, I'd ever achieved anything that was great. Even though, I got myself out of like a mental breakdown of being in a psychiatric ward at the age of 21, to then having got to a point where I've broken through that and got myself to a point where I was even in action creating businesses I'd never even acknowledged. And then, but going forwards after that, not even earning enough money still wasn't enough, and I was just constantly unhappy at the same time. Once I saw the way that I viewed myself in the world, and I saw what was really driving me, was when I had the breakthrough. It was when I'd realized that everything I was doing was to try and counteract this view I had of myself in the world of, I'm just not good enough, nobody wants me. So it was like I was on this constant treadmill of wanting to be liked, of wanting to be loved, of trying to be good enough. And the more that I did these things, the more I'd just burn myself out, and the more unfulfilled I'd just be, because I wouldn't get the results. I'd just be burnt out and I'd be tired and exhausted. But once I saw that this was the way I viewed myself, and I saw that I don't have to do things to be loved, to be wanted, because, the truth is we are love. We are all love. There's energy in everything, and energy is love. And really, there isn't anywhere to go. There isn't anything that we need to do. And that by simply being appreciative of this moment, of being appreciative of the things that we have around us, really starts to give us a deep appreciation and meaning of life. And once we have that, that is the happiness. And so once I stopped having to survive the world, once I stopped trying to be liked or be wanted, and I started just to be more like an expression of humanity. I know that sounds a bit abstract, but once I started just creating and enjoy doing the things that just brought me happiness rather than chasing money, was when I found myself day in, day out doing the things that I enjoy. And even though I was still in businesses that weren't working, or I was in employment positions that I wasn't enjoying, I would make sure that in my spare time in the evenings, that I would go and do the things that I enjoy. And I would tell other people about them, and I would invite other people, to do these things that I enjoy. And in the end, I created amazing friends with others that were also into doing things that I enjoyed. And then now what's happened is I've now ended up being paid for doing the things that I enjoy. As you know, I enjoy coaching, I enjoy making these videos, I enjoy empowering people. And as a result, I get invited to speak on stage. And, I love being on stage. I love to entertain. I love to empower. And I love, contributing and giving to the world in this way. So what's happened is now I've found a place of happiness, a place of enjoyment, a place of fulfillment. And at the same time, I'm getting paid really good money for doing these things. I couldn't ask for a more blessed lifestyle. And at the same time, it's not like it's always been like that, The amount of failed businesses, the amount of failed relationships I've got, honestly, I should write a book. Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'm halfway through writing my first book already. There's a little clue. It will be published early in 2019. So I'll be telling you more about that as it goes. So if you got something from today, if you learned something, if you got some kind of an insight, then hit that like button. Help me elevate these videos so that more people get to see them and enable me to fulfill my dream, goal and ambition of empowering other entrepreneurs and business owners to truly go forth and live their dream lifestyle. The way that I do that is through my videos and through, of course, coaching those of you that approach me about wanting coaching. So, well done for taking the time to watch this video. If you're truly committed to succeed, do hit the subscribe button, and whatever you do, remember, dream the dream, choose the dream, live the dream. Namaste.